Let's take a look at the source code of the API adapter. So I have already downloaded it from GitHub, and it is a FastAPI application. There are plenty of tutorials and videos which will tell you details. We will take a look at the overall architecture first, and then we'll go into a discussion of how do we create adapter to serve specific data to WebTrit backend. So we have main.py, and that's the core of a FastAPI application. Basically defines which HTTP endpoints we process and the function which handles this. And the idea is to keep this main.py as small as possible, and these functions, they just call business logic functions which will reside in the adapter module. So in case if we need to change some way to handle authentication, we don't really need to change anything here in main.py. It's going to be done in a separate module. What else do we have? We have models.py, and this is an auto-generated file from OpenAPI schema of WebTrit API converted into a set of Python classes. Since auto-generated, it's not always very nice and perfect. This is why we have types.py. Besides defining some specific types used within API adapter application, also what it does, it imports some of these auto-generated classes, and it actually renames them. So for instance, here it was generated, auto-generated classes, create session, internal server error response 1, but we rename it to something more meaningful. And the idea is in the code of adapter, in the code of your adapters, you'll be using these names. So should something change, so if in next versions it's going to be not error response 1, but will get to be error response 2 or 3 or whatever, you don't have to change your code. So we will do this mapping here. There are a few like utility modules, for instance, a module which adds login with the X request ID HTTP header to the logs, which helps a lot to troubleshoot, module which provides nice error reporting. They're not that important for the purposes of developing your own adapter. And probably the last thing which we need to take a look, it's Docker file, because we expect you to assemble your own container and then run it in the cloud. So everything that you need is here, and ideally you don't need to change anything.